Because it's not a convenient truth for them.
It's not convenient truth because what it does is it highlights their own policy flaws. They've imported these men. They've brought them in. This is the reality of multiculturalism which they've forced on us. This is the reality of open border mass immigration from Pakistan and countries like that. You've brought it in. It's your problem, but they know the future lays with that community, so they don't want to upset that community. They're also, since 2001 with the Bradford riots, are terrified of anyone saying anything negative that might provoke the Muslims into a violent riot. That's what's happened. So then they all pander, just shit themselves basically, and say, let the little English girls get raped. We'll let that happen. We'll accept that so long as we keep getting voted for, we don't upset anyone. And the police force, as long as no one calls us racist. So when you think, what is the power of political correctness? When you actually say this out loud, people think, is it powerful? How powerful is it? It paralysed from one end of the country to the other of the most successful nation in the world, the most progressive, democratic, free-loving people, and they all stood there and watched children get raped in case they were called rapists, racist. That's the power of it. That infection of political correctness has totally paralysed, through fear, an entire nation of people. Well, it had until the English Defence League. Now, no one gives us credit. And people can question our tactics when we're on the street in that manner. And I learned a lot.
Because it was violent and it had a bunch of other bad actors.
There was violence. There was violence. We were rowdy. We were loud. We were unapologetic in what we were doing, and we were charging through cities. Now, if we didn't do that, would you have heard of the English Defence League?
Right.
If we didn't, would anyone now?
What the London Real Investment Club actually does for you, it gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals: a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals, and that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week, and for me, that was huge because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
Be dealing with the rape epidemic of young British girls? Would they? Because in 2009, if you look, you can draw a graph, and from 2004 to 2009, the graph goes a straight line. This is arrests for Muslim rape gangs. 2009, 2010, 2011, it just goes through the roof. Yeah, because they had to. At that point, they couldn't hide it anymore. Now, Andrew Norfolk is the journalist who won the awards for exposing the grooming gangs. His words, not mine. He won all these awards. Now, he says in an interview, he knew it was happening as a journalist, but it was a far-right dream. Pakistani men, white girls. And he was too scared to report it. So he, as a coward, like the rest of them, knew little girls were being raped, but was too scared to report it because of the demographics of the rapists and the victims. And then he saw the emergence of the English Defence League. This is his words. And then he decided, like I've got some moral high ground, he decided we had to take it back from the far right. Now what he means is, when he says far right, is Englishmen that weren't willing to allow this anymore. He had to take it back from the fathers, the brothers, the uncles and the relatives of the kids that were being raped, who decided we've had enough of this and we're on the street now. Yeah, and no, we're not going to back down. Our ethos, what was it? We had death, prison or glory. We will not submit. Now, Islam translates as some submission. So our main thing is we're not submitting and we're not backing down. Yeah, and that was needed at that time. But get to 2014, I no longer felt it was needed. In the sense of the arrests were happening, not to the scale they should be, but we'd done pretty well. No one had been killed. 6 Muslims got caught on the way to kill us. They got caught with suicide vests, guns, bombs, everything. They got 30 years in jail. But if they would have been successful in blowing up that English Defence League event, that could have started sectarian conflict. Now, we had a lot of contact with Northern Ireland and people in Northern Ireland, and there was the troubles in Northern Ireland with the Republic of Ireland. And I remember all the people there saying, you do not want to go down that path. Yeah, you don't want your country, and we didn't want that. So it gets 2014, and remember, this is before the rise of these. Yeah, if you wanted to speak to people, you got 5,000 on the street and you told them what's happening. By 2014, I've decided I'm leaving the English Defence League anyway, and I made that decision because I was put in jail 2014, and all the groups I'd fought, there was these groups, Northwest Infidels, absolute scumbags, yeah, proper Nazis, proper racist little mugs, and I'd had clashes with them for years. I go to jail. By the time I come out of jail, I watch the demonstrations I've missed when I'm in jail, and I see them all there. And I'm like, when you think of English Defence League, what do you think of? It's me. I'm the face of this shit. Yeah? I've got to walk around Luton with my head held high, which I can do, because I've stood up for what I believe in and what's right, morally right, and it has never been a racist group, and everyone knows me in Luton, all the blacks know me, everyone knows me, I've got a good friendship basis like that. So I could always do that. But when I saw that, I thought, am I the only person holding these lot back? I'm not being the face of that. So I made the decision to leave, but then I also made the decision to leave, but not to try and find a solution to the problem, but not give up what we were doing. And I realised that what I need the public to see is what I've seen. I need them to understand what Luton's like. And how can I do that? And it was journalism.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.